today with a really exciting haul of mostly art, so fan art prints, but then also some manga, manhwa, a guidebook, art books, and it's all stuff that I got recently at my first anime convention. I went to SAKURA-CON in Seattle, and it was my first anime convention. I had a lot of fun, and as you will see, I bought a lot of things, predominantly from Artist Alley, so from different artists, but rather than going through by artist and showing the things I bought from each artist, I'm going to go through by character and series. And then for each different piece of art, I'll have on the screen the social media for that artist so that you can find them if you're interested in their artwork. But then I'll also have timestamps below, so feel free to jump around. But before I get into any of the art, I have two books that I got from the Yen Press industry panel. It was really exciting going to an industry panel and listening to the representatives of the publisher talk about some of the upcoming releases, the new announcements. So these two books were giveaways at the Yen Press industry panel, and this is the first one. I had seen an image of the cover, but hadn't really heard anything about it. It's a new release by the writer of Horimiya, but then it's in their own art style. It's not with the artist of Horimiya. But from how this was described, it's kind of a slice of life that follows a guy who moves into a haunted apartment that is haunted by a ghost. So, I don't know. Looking forward to reading it just because I'm excited that I got it for free. And I'm curious to see what the storytelling will be like, as I've only read Horimiya by this writer. And then the other one is another one that I hadn't heard of, and it's a title that I probably wouldn't have normally picked up just because it follows vampires. I'm usually not drawn toward vampire series, but there are some that I like, so I am excited to get into this one. This volume is just really gorgeous. It has foil on the title, but then the art style looks like it's going to be really stunning too. It is one that is full color. But I have heard good things about this. I have some friends who have read this before online. I believe it is already completed in digital format, so if I get into this first volume and enjoy it, I might then finish it digitally just to be able to more quickly read the story and not have to wait for the physical releases to finish. But two new titles to add to my collection, a manga and a manhwa. And now getting into all of the art that I got from Artist Alley. So the first one here is just this art print from Tokyo Revengers of Mikey and Draken. So Mitsuya and Draken are my favorite characters from Tokyo Revengers, so I always am just keeping an eye out for any fan art of them. But there wasn't any of Mitsuya, but this one was super cute. I just happened to see it as I was walking by the artist's booth. If I remember correctly, they had a lot of art from a fandom that I don't really follow the art, but then just tucked around the corner, I saw this on display, and I was like, I probably should go ahead and get that. And then next is an art print from Spirited Away, a dragon print, and I just thought this was really creative. I liked the kind of origami paper design for the dragon, and Spirited Away is my favorite Ghibli film, and I do already have a few fan art prints from Spirited Away, so I just wanted to get this one and add it to my little collection. Next, I have some Toji prints. So, we'll lay them all out here. So this one here, it just caught my eye. It was so cute, and having little cat Gojo on his shoulder. I'm a big fan of Toji, so had to get some. And then another artist that I already have a few of their art prints for other series. I saw their booth and had to get these two Tojis. They had a few other prints that were really tempting as well, but I just went with these ones for now. And this one of Toji is from an artist that I have purchased from them before through Instagram. I do have two Sanji prints that they've done. For a lot of their character prints, they will have a clothed version and then different NSFW versions as well. So I did actually get this Toji and then a NSFW Toji that I'm not gonna pull on screen. And then likewise, I have their Sanji art, the regular and the NSFW version, but how could I say no to him? So these are all the Tojis that I picked up. Next, for One Piece, before I get into my Sanji stuff, I did get this little mini print for my husband of Hancock. I love Hancock, and Hancock is my husband's favorite character in One Piece. So we got him this little card. I know that this artist is also a pin maker, and so I believe that this is a pin design as well. But my husband doesn't collect pins, so I just got this one for him. And then also, I'll put on the screen a poster that we were really surprised to see at Artist Alley. So I follow this artist on Instagram, and I love this Sanji poster that I got from them some months back in 2023. I love it. And I knew for this poster line that they were only doing the straw hats, and then recently branched out and added Law to the line of posters. So I was so surprised when we saw their booth and Hancock was there on display. So the first thing I did was I went to their website to see if Hancock was available on their website, because I was worried about having to travel with this poster for several flights to get back home. And I was thinking I could just order it and have it shipped to me rather than buying it in person, but then it was such a new design that they hadn't even added it to their website yet. So, of course, we just had to get her, and we got her home safely, thank goodness. We've already got her in a frame, and she is stunning. And I'm really happy now that in this same art style from the same artist, we have my favorite character, Sanji, and my husband's favorite character, Hancock. Now moving on to Sanji, I got a few things. So, I love Sanji, and I was a little disappointed that Artist Alley I didn't see more fan art prints and just merch that I could get of him. But that said, I am grateful for what I did find. So I got this Sanji pin. I am a pin collector, and I collect Sanji primarily, as well as a few other characters. I do collect pins, but this is a pin maker that I hadn't heard of. I wasn't following them yet. And I had never seen this pin before, and he's so cute. So I'm really happy that I found this one. And then a couple stickers. So I think this was my first purchase of the convention, because it was just a cute chibi Sanji, and it was just a couple dollars. So I got him. He's so cute. So I do collect Sanji stickers, and it's kind of hard on me because I really want to use them and display them, but once I use them and stick them onto something, then I can't ever use them again. So he will just go with the other Sanji stickers that I have. And then this is another Sanji sticker, but I got it more like as if it's just a card. I'm not actually going to stick this one to anything, but this one, if you can't tell from the post-it note, this is an NSFW Sanji, and I had to get it. Had to support the artist that is putting these out, giving some attention to Sanji, so another sticker. And then after the Hancock poster booth being the most thrilling and exciting find at Artist Alley, the next most exciting was the booth that featured art by this artist. This is a sketchbook that I purchased from them. And I didn't really realize at first that they had these, because I just was excited at their booth that they had ZoSan stuff. They had prints, they had, I believe, stickers, they had acrylic standees, acrylic charms. And so I was standing there looking at everything, trying to decide what to get. I was thinking about getting a print, and then my husband was trying to get me to get a standee, just because it was exciting that it was Sanji, but then also to support this artist who is making the content that I want. But I was going back and forth about what I wanted to get, and then the artist mentioned this sketchbook. So it's called a sketchbook, but I'm just viewing it more like a fan book, but it's super cute. It has a few of the art prints that I was weighing between, but I just was really happy with this find. I'm really excited. I didn't read this until the week after the anime convention, but I thought there was a little AU story in here, but it's kind of like a teaser behind the scenes of them working on it. So I am looking forward to supporting this AU story that they are working on once it's finished. Next is a few items from NieR, things that I got for my husband. In addition to these, there's also a poster that we got that is going to be featured at the end of the video. I'll put a timestamp up for that poster. But for these items here, we got these little stickers of 9S and Tubi. They're so cute as little chibis, and their little blush on their cheeks. They're so cute. And then this print. We got a couple prints from this artist, but I wanted to split them up by character. So this one of Tubi in action with her weapons. And then this one was really cool with the foil on her clothing as well as the box or the cube. So these were all really exciting finds because my husband is a huge fan of NieR as well as Tubi. Next are 3 prints from the game series Bloodborne and Elden Ring. My husband had been following this artist on Twitter and already was really a fan of their art and their work. So he was really excited to see that they had a booth at Artist Alley so that he could pick some of his favorite designs and characters and get fan art of them. I believe they do have an imprint though, he said, but we just don't really like the paper that prints are printed on from imprint, but in contrast, the print paper quality of these is really nice. But so, sorry, I've already forgotten the names of these characters, but I love the detail on them. And I'm happy he was able to pick a few things up from an artist that he likes. Next, I have 2 more prints from an artist that I mentioned earlier. This one from Sword Art Online of Kirito and Asuna. I really liked this one. It was really cool. This artist had a lot of different series represented, from anime series as well as gaming series. So we were able to pick a few of our favorites. We do have Kirito and Asuna's Nendoroids and some of the manga for the series. Only one of the stories so far, so we're happy to be expanding our collection. We are Sword Art Online fans. And then of course we had to get Samus from Metroid. Just a really pretty illustration. This is a childhood favorite series of my husband. And it's one that I don't believe we have any other merch for or art or anything other than the games. So he was really happy to see her on display as one of the options for the bundle discounts that they were doing at their booth. The next series is The Legend of Zelda, and we got a few things. So I was so happy to see this. So this is from Breath of the Wild, Link when he's in disguise. But a really pretty fan art print, also very sexy, so showing off the skin. But I'm happy we saw this one as part of the bundle options. It was kind of interesting. Some of the artist booths would just have all of their art out on display, and then you could choose which ones you wanted. And some of them only had like a few art pieces on display, and then they'd have like a binder where you'd flip through and hope that the ones that you saw that you wanted were in stock, that they had them behind the table somewhere. So this was one of those. And then next, these two were both by the same artist. But again, just really gorgeous art of Link and Zelda. And Zelda. So we're big fans of The Legend of Zelda and definitely wanted to get these to add to our collection of art we have for this series. And then this was a big surprise to find this little book, and it's a cookbook zine that I had no idea about. I've been trying really hard to stay up with fanzines and fan books because when you miss them, you miss them. But it seems like they had some leftover stock, and I saw this at a few different booths where there were artists at Artist Alley who were contributors to the fanzine. And so then each of them were selling the leftovers at their booth. So Hyrule Taste of the Kingdom, 14 delicious recipes inside. So different recipes as well as different little bits of art. I am so excited to try some of these recipes. And I'll have to look into some of these artists, find them on Twitter or if they're on Instagram. But yeah, I'm excited to have this one now. I do already have a Haikyu fanzine cookbook and then also from One Piece. So making a little cookbook collection. The last bit of fan art that I have is kind of a mix and it's really exciting. I actually got 2 art books for my husband. And this was really exciting because this artist had a lot of really gorgeous illustrations, but was only selling them in pretty large formats. So basically the smaller prints were 12 by 18 posters. Those were the small ones. And then the large ones were large posters. But they were doing a bundle where if you bought an art book, you could get a small print for free as well. And then each of these art books are just filled with really lovely illustrations. So I opted to get both of these art books for my husband so that he wouldn't have to miss out on any of these illustrations and wouldn't have to buy like 10 posters to get all of the illustrations that he wanted. And then in addition to these 2 art books, we got 2 free posters. So I'll put up on the screen the 2 posters. We got one of Zelda and one of Tubi, and they're 12 by 18, so they're the same size as the Hancock and Sanji posters that we already have. I'm so happy that they're the same size, so he'll have his 3 posters that he can put together and they'll be aligned. And these ones too, I was a little worried about transporting them back safely, but because we already were bringing the Hancock poster back, we just wrapped all 3 of them together, rolled them up, and they all made it safely. But I'll do a quick flip through of each of these art books. They both are kind of a mix of a lot of Final Fantasy and then some other miscellaneous gaming and anime series. But just the art books themselves are really nice quality. So I'm really glad that we were able to get these. My husband's really happy too. He's got a ton of new art now. I was a little jealous because we kept finding things in Artist Alley that he really was excited about. So he got spoiled a little bit and got to get a ton of things. But I'm happy with my pickups as well. So this is the first one, Emerald, and then Sapphire. I love some of these Final Fantasy ones. He's looking good in his dress. But yeah, so now all of these illustrations just compiled into books. So again, glad to have these, but then also glad we were able to support this artist. And then lastly, the last two items from my SAKURA-CON haul were both from the series Haikyu. So I got the newest guidebook for Haikyu. I felt kind of silly. I had heard about this release and it was called Haikyu Magazine, and I thought it really was a magazine that just was going to feature a little bit of Haikyu in it. But I went to the exhibition hall and Kinokuniya had a little booth and they had quite a lot of art books and guidebooks that were unwrapped. I believe usually in their stores they have everything wrapped, so it was really exciting to just go through and flip through a bunch of art books that I hadn't seen before, guidebooks, and this was one of the unwrapped books that I flipped through and realized this isn't just a magazine, this is a guidebook. So I went ahead and picked it up. It is super nice. It has a lot of illustrations, some interviews, some Q&As, an extra little bonus chapter. I love Haikyu. It's my favorite anime series and I do like the manga quite a lot as well. The insert here in the center is a double-sided poster of these two illustrations, but larger. And then with the upcoming anime movie, I'm really excited. Yes. So excited to have some of this extra stuff. Really looking forward to watching the movie. And then here in the back, inside this attached little envelope is some stickers, but I haven't had the courage to try to rip it open or like cut it open, so some mystery stickers in here. But after I looked at this, I thought about waiting and ordering it online to maybe get a better deal for it. But I was in such a Haikyu hype and frenzy because the weekend of SAKURA-CON, Spyair was going to be there performing. So I went ahead and got it. But Spyair is the band that, I don't know if they've done all of the OPs and EDs for Haikyu, but if not all of them, then a lot of them. But they have a new single, Orange, which is going to be the song for the new movie that's coming out. And so we bought the album so that we could, after the concert, go to the autograph session and get it autographed because they only autograph official merch. So we got all of their autographs after the concert. It was really exciting. The concert itself was really fun. It was so thrilling to just have them playing right in front of me. All of the songs from my favorite anime series. But so, this is such a cool little, this came wrapped around this corner here in the little plastic. I'm so excited to watch the movie. I'm really curious how it's going to be adapted from the manga and where it's going to end, like what all it's going to cover, because the anime up to this point has covered, I believe, 32 volumes of 45. So this movie and the next movie are supposed to cover 13 volumes of content, so I really hope that they do a good job with it. Then inside there's this little booklet. It was so much fun. And then actual CD. Oops. Yikes, that's been kind of rattling around in here. I'll have to be careful. And these are my Haikyu goods. So that was everything that we brought home with us from SAKURA-CON, from Artist Alley, as well as from the exhibition hall. We had a really good time. It was a bit overwhelming, but I think the scale and events were really good for us for our first con, and we were able to spend most of our time over the weekend in Artist Alley and then going to a few panels, visiting the exhibition hall and walking through, going to the concert. Another exciting SAKURA-CON highlight for me was meeting a fellow YouTuber, K-Blink Buddy, who was also attending SAKURA-CON. It was so fun to meet her in person and to walk around Artist Alley together and see each other at the concert, go to the industry panels together. And I'm super grateful. She was such a big help for us, just kind of planning everything so that we wouldn't miss anything important that we wanted to be able to see. So I'm really happy with our first anime convention, that it was a success, and we found so many fun things to pick up while we were there. But I'm happy to finally get around to finishing this video, recording it, and I apologize if my voice has been kind of raspy through the video. I got sick right after I got home and have been coughing and lost my voice a bit, so after being home for about a week and a half, then I finally am getting around to recording this. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed watching my haul. I've been so excited to share everything, so I hope you enjoyed watching my haul of everything that we got. So that's everything this time around, and I'll see you again soon in another video. Thanks for watching.